Hi there, Joshua here with my brother and co-host Eli from This Is Something. Sometimes we get too hung up on the things we love the most.
You mean like Star Wars?
Yeah.
Well, to combat this epidemic, we bring you This Is Pop Culture. Welcome to the very first This Is Pop Culture. What are we talking about today?
You know what I was thinking? Something that we have certain things we like to talk about, and we talk about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to keep us from overdoing subjects, like Batman and comics and Star Wars, I thought maybe we'd try to focus on things that recently happened. You know what recently came out? The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie reboot remake.
It's actually out now.
It's been out. It's
you can
probably,
tell how much I pay attention to that.
It's probably looks like it probably is going out of theaters here very soon. No, it's been out.
Really? Okay.
It's been out for a couple weeks.
You can see how much I really honestly don't care much for it.
Well, that's
never excited me.
That
once.
was the question I was asking when I first saw the trailer. Which the trailer one has that. Was like, who cares? They want to do an adult reboot of the Power Rangers, and how do you even do? This was a stupid show based on a stupid premise with stupid villains, bright primary colors. Every episode ended with like a stupid gag, and everybody would be like, ha 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 ha, like the.
Better than dancing during the commercial.
And then you look at like the tone of the commercials, and they had like really grim tone. Like the one guy, I think one kid, his dad's an alcoholic. The one kid's being bullied. It has this grim tone.
This is also.
It has this Johnny Cash song.
I was saying this one had a Johnny Cash song, but
and it's like Power Rangers, you didn't earn a Johnny Cash song.
What song is it? Because it's not.
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. You just butchered the crap.
Well, yeah.
That's all right. Go ahead.
I was actually thinking about how they just used.
He says a close heart on the watch of mine.
There's a small heart on this watch of mine. So because they just did that in the commercial for Logan.
Yeah.
They had, now obviously it's not an actual Johnny Cash song, it's Johnny Cash's rendition of Hurt by 9 Inch Nails, Trent Reznor.
But Logan has built up, Hugh Jackman, the X-Men series, has built up enough goodwill that I am okay, I believe it.
Yeah.
Power Rangers did not earn the goodwill to get Johnny Cash.
I also wonder how much that was just a play off of the fact that Logan... Except, I guess they would have had the commercials.
They do mention the first X-Men movie that, Rogue asks him, does that hurt when his claws come out? And he says every time.
Yeah.
But I digress. The thing is, you look at the tone of the commercial, it's so dark and gritty. It's got that Johnny Cash song, and, it's dark grit. And, the kids are cussing, and one kid gets kicked down, and like, oh, that, you got your ass kicked or something like that. And then, literally, following up, you got your ass kicked line in the trailer. It is immediately followed up with, it's morphin' time. Oh my God, you can't even do that. You can't. What? So,
I can't get behind it.
I couldn't get behind it. I haven't seen the movie. Have you guys seen it? Comment below. Tell us what you thought.
Yeah, maybe it's actually good and we're just a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, we are. But I will tell you, when I was a kid, I for a little bit I was like every kid in America was waiting to the Power Rangers when they first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the show, and I was into the. Went and saw the movie in the theaters. I had some Power Ranger action figures.
I mean, when Sam and I were kids, we had the. I think it was the actual movie called The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers live action movie. We had that one, and we had it on VHS, VCR, all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you know what that is, for you really young people that may be watching this, you might not actually know what I'm talking about. I'm just old enough to know what I'm talking about.
That was actually mine because I got it for Christmas that year or whatever. I got the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was, like every kid in America at the time, was really into Power Rangers. I didn't stay into Power Rangers very long, though.
Good for you.
I will say this about the Power Rangers. Say what you want. At least the original series. I didn't realize this series has been going on for like 23 years.
Yeah, that's very old.
That they just continue making renditions of it. I can't believe I just found that out. You go on Netflix, look at Power Rangers. God!
It's like a much lighter-hearted version of, like, if you think of it like this, like Batman or something, where there's just new renditions, new waves coming out each year, every couple of years. There's a new, like, or Spider-Man. You know, I grew up on Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. But then they had the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Now they have this kid whose name I can't remember, who's currently doing the Spider-Man movies, who was in Civil War and all that as well. That's Captain America, Civil War specifically. Sorry, but like that.
Not the North and the South Civil War.
Yeah, we don't talk about that one. Not on pop culture at least. Point being.
Just say like Spider-Man with like his Confederate uniform or something.
It's probably.
I'm sure there's some.
It's somewhere online. The Rebel Flag Spider-Man, probably the cape. Point being, they do keep making renditions of Power Rangers that are slightly different. But as far as I know, they don't curse and kill people and sing Johnny Cash songs.
Johnny Cash. You know what? I will say though, the point I was originally driving at was, at least in the original series, the one I grew up with, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Mm-hmm. I always thought, even as an adult today, now, because my son, my youngest, is really into the Power Rangers. He's been watching watching the different series, and he's watching the classics. Even now as an adult, I still think aesthetically they're very cool looking. Mm-hmm. I like the jumpsuits. I think that's cool. The helmets are really cool.
So, question about that. Do you prefer the full, like, spandex suit version? Like the really old ones? Where it's like a morph suit? I mean, they have morph suits of them now, too.
Yeah,
but, like, it's like a morph suit. I mean, it's a full spandex suit. Do you prefer that one? Or do you prefer the more platey ones that they have with like the full?
I like the old one, man. I'm telling you, like the spandex, they just aesthetically look really cool, and they weren't like so much like spandex. They actually had like, you know, like their gloves and boots weren't like part of the suit. You know, like their gloves and boots were individual. They they had a belt on it. I just think aesthetically they were very cool looking, and you know, I get the appeal of the Power Rangers for kids. For kids, not adults. I get for kids.
Well, they're trying to appeal to
the bright primary colors. Freaking dinosaur robots that turn into a bigger robot when you connect them. Holy crap! Mm-hmm. What kid wouldn't be into that?
See, if you think of it though, there's been a couple movies that come out recently that are like a more adult version of the original. And I would say one of them is this, and I think what it's aiming to do is trying to get the original crowd to come back, because the original crowd, you know, people like yourself that are now older who don't watch the original Power Rangers anymore, I think they want to try to draw you in and say, here is what you watched as a kid, as an adult version, because you're an adult and you like adult things. And then, but the thing that it's not meant for that though.
And that's my problem. As an adult, I don't care about the Power Rangers. It's the Power Rangers. Oh my God, they fight big rubber-suited monsters. I don't have a need for Power Rangers in my life. And I will say this about my generation specifically, is that we're very caught up in nostalgia. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's something to do with this pop culture. We're so obsessed with and caught up with pop culture. I would venture to say that my generation is the generation that stripped anything fun from kids. You know, my generation was the video gaming generation. We had the Super NES, and we grew up playing video games. They don't make kids games anymore.
Not good.
They only make adult games. Why? Because my generation wants adult games.
I mean, you can get kids games, but they're cheap crap.
DC Comics has all the Hanna-Barbera characters. Mm-hmm. They have adult versions of those comics. Adult Flintstones, adult Jetsons, adult Scooby-Doo comics.
Well,
you know, all the Batman movies, Batman v Superman, and all the movies are coming out.
They're getting increasingly more violent.
They're becoming increasingly more geared towards adults and less towards kids.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool, one of the biggest hits of all time. Freaking Deadpools are, and why? Because they geared it towards, you know, this is a comic book. It wasn't a kid's comic book. It was a comic book, and not that there's anything wrong with comic books for adults. I'm not saying that. One of my favorite novels of all time, one of my top 5 favorite stories of all time, books I've ever read, is Batman Long Halloween.
And it's a graphic novel, right?
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with things for adults. I'm just saying that my generation is so obsessed with pop culture that we have an adult Power Rangers.
Yep.
So, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to see the movie. I have no desire to see it. But, you know, I do have good memories.
Let us know if we should.
I do have good memories of the Power Rangers. I mean, come on, it was the Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, to sign out, before we sign out, my favorite Power Ranger growing up was the Blue Ranger. Seconded by the Red Ranger, and I'll tell you why for just a second. There was a Red Ranger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then who came along? The Green. Right?
Yeah.
Green Ranger came along. And everyone's like, oh my god, Green Ranger, Tommy the Green Ranger. And the Green Ranger became the White Ranger. And at some point down the line, he took over the control of he took leadership of the group.
White power. If you think of it that way, I mean, it could very well be, you know, might have just been an accident, but
no. There were some interviews with some of the cast, because there was a black guy was a Black Ranger, Trini, the Asian Ranger was yellow. And when you
things I didn't realize
all the cast came, they did interviews and stuff. They said, honestly, truthfully, that was an accident. That was never. Nobody ever really thought about it when it happened. The black guy was originally set to be the Blue Ranger. And nobody, it just happened.
Blue Ranger was smooth.
It just happened that way, yeah. I'm thinking of the white power now, like the White Ranger being led with Confederate Spider-Man.
Oh my god! Please don't take that the wrong way. We're not making fun of anybody. Maybe we are. I don't know. My favorite Ranger is I don't know, the beige one.
The Beige Ranger.
I don't have a favorite Ranger. That's my point. I don't have a favorite Ranger.
When I was a kid, though, the White Ranger came in, right? He took leadership of the group, and I always rubbed me the wrong way because the Red was originally leader. And it's like, how does somebody, even as a kid, I kind of got this idea of like seniority and being like, how does somebody come in and become the leader, take leadership from somebody else? Mm-hmm. How does that work? Why does that work? That doesn't make sense. So Blue Ranger, seconded by Red. But that's my thought. Guys, comment below. Who was your favorite Ranger?
Who was your favorite
Did you watch Mighty Morphin? Did you watch the subsequent series? Tell us about it. Did you hate the Power Rangers and didn't watch them at all?
Do you like the new movie? Again, like we've always said, tell us if we should see it. We probably still won't. But tell us if we should see it. Tell us what you thought about it.
Well, if you say we should see it. And honestly, truthfully, I won't lie. If it ends up on Netflix...
Oh, yeah, I'll probably
freaking watch it. I mean, if it ends up on Netflix or something, I'm not going out of my way to watch it.
Not renting it from Redbox?
No.
Okay. Well, I think we're about out of time.
Yep. Morphin time?
It's morphin time. I don't know. What's the little thing that they do?
Yeah, they had the little morpher.
Do they do it like this, though? Like
I had a morpher when I was a kid. That was awesome.
Okay.
You had it came with all 5 power coins. You could put the one in that you wanted to be.
You ready? Do the... It's... No, I'm not going to do that. It's morphin time.
Okay, we can do that. All right, guys, so until next time.
I'm Eli.
I'm Joshua.
And
it's morphin time! We hope you liked today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment because we enjoy chatting with you.
Also, check us out on Instagram and Facebook at This Is Something. All the links are below. Thanks, and have a beautiful day.